in the season, my outlook is obviously pretty optimistic. We haven't taken the field yet, so nothing really to be down on. We have, I think, a really good group of guys. A lot of these guys got their first time in starting roles last year, so that was kind of a good learning experience for them, and to have success in that role. Now, with them having a full season of regular playing time, I think that we have the potential to really take a big step forward, particularly within our lineup. Well, I think looking at our lineup, we had first team second baseman and Nick Daniele. He's the heart of the order type hitter. He's been pretty phenomenal his whole career here. Last year, he was on a pace, I'd say 3/4 of the season. He was one of the leaders as far as a player of the year in the conference. Had a rough couple weeks to finish the season, but here he is now as a senior, and he seems to be really kind of working, all things kind of working together for him right now, to where he's going to put in a great last campaign. Our shortstop, on the other side of second base, John Tierney. I think he's probably as good, if not the best, defensive shortstop in the conference, and he's a guy who just in the offseason has gotten so much bigger and stronger, and I think more mature as well. He's really just grown by leaps and bounds as a person as well as a baseball player. So those two guys at the middle are going to be huge for us. Kevin Sensale was our DH last year and got an honorable mention nod, and he looks locked in and ready to go. So I think all three of those guys, kind of heart of the order, middle of the infield for those two, are going to be big parts of our success this year. We have a couple of guys. We have one of the most interesting guys is actually Joe Piscopo, who's a sophomore. He was going to play last year. He was on the basketball team last year, and he suffered an injury during basketball season, and that kind of held him out from playing for us last year. This year, he's focused strictly on baseball, and he's a just good athlete. Really has been working hard, and he looks like he's going to get a starting nod in center field for us on opening day. And I think he's one of those guys that, even though he took a year away from baseball, it doesn't seem like he's missed a beat. And he's a real tough out. I think teams are going to find that he's tough to get to chase pitches, and he'll just battle, which is something you absolutely want. So I'd say he's probably one of our biggest newcomers. We have we have a freshman who's a corner infielder, Cole Fertizzi, who I think can make a big impact. It's unclear where he's going to land right now and to what degree that role will be. But I think he's a guy who, at least through this freshman year, depending on how much he can get, how much action he gets early on, how his confidence grows. I've seen it grow over the last couple weeks of practice, and I'm hoping that once we get into games, it continues to grow, because I think he could be scary good as time goes on. Conference, I think we always try and schedule teams that are quality competition. NJAC schools. When we go down to Florida, we're going to have schools like, I think we have Rowan, Dickinson, Westfield State up in Massachusetts, Washington University, which is nationally ranked right now, out in St. Louis. So it's going to be a competitive schedule, no doubt. The way I always try and look at it is I try and have, we have limited control over our schedule, but for the non-conference opponents, I always want to have teams that are going to challenge us, who, if we play really well, we have a chance to win, and if we don't play particularly well, they're gonna kick our butt. So I want to be able to show our team that when we show up, we have a chance to beat anybody, and if we're not playing our best, there's a price to pay for that. You can't just sleepwalk through wins in our schedule.